What if I told you that Manato wasn't the friendly, motivational, and caring leader that you thought he was? Grimgar Volume 14.5 contains a retelling of Manato's life in Grimgar, from his very own perspective, and it's a lot different than what you'd expect. Now we all know how this story goes, so I'm just going to focus on Manato's thoughts and actions. So our group wakes up in the tower where Renji gives Manato a dirty look before moving toward the exit. Of course, Manato wasn't a fan of the disrespect, but it kind of bothered him that Renji took the lead. Then at the Red Moon office, Manato becomes irritated as Renji claims a volunteer trainee badge before him. This irritation suddenly turns into full-blown frustration as Renji recruits the 4 strongest and most loyal people for himself. This causes the now pissed off Manato to leave the office as he tells us, "I smiled at the 5 losers, then like it was no big deal, I added, 'See you all later.'" Then only 4 pages later, Manato says, "Like that, I ended up forming a party with the leftovers." Now I know that was a lot of info, but all of this happened within literal moments of arriving in Grimgar, and it tells us quite a few things about Manato. To begin with, Manato feels a need to always be in control of the situation, and this is why he got so pissed off when Renji kept taking the lead. Then even though he was completely pissed off, he left the office with a smile on his face, showing us that he's able to hide his true emotions and intentions. Last thing to take note of is the fact that Manato quickly and rather harshly judged the squad, as he referred to them as the losers and leftovers. Continuing on, we learn that Manato actually enjoys being in this party where he gets to make all of the decisions. However, he also says, "Seeing no one in front of me didn't feel right." Manato then becomes a priest, and he himself admits that he was always slacking off and looking for ways to cut corners during training. We then get a scene where Manato sits down next to Renji at Sherry's Tavern, which causes Renji to immediately begin insulting the squad. He even goes as far as calling Manato a monster, who wears a fake smile and is unable to trust another human being. And guess what? Manato doesn't disagree with him. Now all of this together tells us that Manato enjoys being in control of the squad, however he doesn't want to actually lead them. This idea is further backed up by the fact that Manato chooses to become a backline priest instead of a frontline warrior. We also know that Manato is lazy, and adding this into the equation leads me to believe that Manato is purposely manipulating the squad in order to further himself in this world. Moving on, we find the squad hunting goblins in Damaro, but it's exactly the same as the anime, so let's skip ahead to another situation with Renji. They are once again at the bar, but the conversation goes a bit differently this time. Renji actually ends up offering Manato a spot in his party, but they both know that this isn't possible because Manato is a manipulative bastard who has to be the leader. We then get some more goblin killing, and Manato proceeds to break down exactly how he could/will manipulate each member of the squad into becoming a stronger fighter. He states that Shiho would be the easiest, and that all he would have to do is become her boyfriend. That being said though, he does mention that he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. However, he was most definitely flirting with her in the anime, so I'm not really sure which path he was actually pursuing. Now, everything up to this point has depicted Manato in a negative way, but this one scene seems to show that Manato is having a change of heart. This is the scene where Manato takes some time to compliment everyone other than Haru, and he truly means everything he says. Manato then realizes that this is the very first time that he's genuinely smiled since coming to Grimgar, and he hopes that they will never lose this lighthearted friendship that they all share. At this point, he even begins to open up to the idea of possibly growing to love Shiho. However, it's only a few hours later that Manato's life comes to a tragic end. Looking back, we can see that Manato was without a doubt a scheming, manipulative human being, but that side of him is exactly why he was a perfect leader. I mean, the squad had more weaknesses than strengths, but Puppet Master Manato was able to manipulate them into working together and improving. Now, some of you might say that knowing all of this completely ruins Manato's character, but I would argue the exact opposite. The whole point of Grimgar is that the squad consists of a bunch of damaged and flawed characters which we can relate to. Haruhiro is indecisive, Moguzo is unconfident, Yume is ditzy, Shihoru is timid, Mary is grieving, and Ranta is a total prick. The world of Grimgar shows us that our flaws don't necessarily define us. We can and will grow stronger as long as we continue to push forward. Manato's life is the story of a damaged kid who was only able to see people as objects or tools. However, he chose to move forward and persevere, which resulted in him opening up his heart and learning to trust his comrades. And this is why Manato's story is a perfect fit for Grimgar. I mean, we all have our issues, but striving to move forward and improve, one day at a time, is all that truly matters.